Stunning revelation last night on Sean Hannity's program when Rudy Giuliani acknowledged that the president did, in fact, reimburse Michael Cohen, his personal attorney, for that $130,000 that Cohen paid to Daniels for that non-disclosure agreement. However, Giuliani insists that the president was paying Cohen a retainer for services rendered and expenses incurred and didn't know specifically what the money was being used for. Giuliani said this morning that the payment was not to help the campaign. It was to save the president's reputation. Listen here.
This was for personal reasons. This was the president had been hurt personally, not politically, personally so much, and the First Lady by some of the false allegations. That one more false allegation, right. 6 years old. I think he was trying to help the family. And for that, the man is being treated like some kind of villain. And I think he was just being a good lawyer and a good man.
The president weighing in on all of this with a lengthy tweet this morning, perhaps his longest ever. Mr. Cohen, an attorney, received a monthly retainer not from the campaign and having nothing to do with the campaign, from which he entered into through reimbursement, a private contract between two parties known as a non-disclosure agreement, or NDA. These agreements are very common among celebrities and people of wealth. In this case, it is in full force and effect and will be used in arbitration for damages against Ms. Clifford, that's Stormy Daniels. The agreement was used to stop the false and extortionist accusations made by her about an affair, despite already having signed a detailed letter admitting that there was no affair prior to its violation by Ms. Clifford and her attorney. This was a private agreement. Money from the campaign or campaign contributions played no role in this transaction. Clearly, this is a shift in legal strategy, and at the core of this shift is the belief that the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York is going after Michael Cohen for an illegal campaign contribution. Rudy Giuliani talked to me at midnight last night, told me that the disclosure of the reimbursement takes off the table the notion that there was any FEC violation. Stormy Daniels' attorney, Michael Avenatti, though, doesn't think prosecutors or the courts will buy the explanation. Listen here.
Our case just got exponentially better in the last 24 hours. This is not about sex. This isn't about what happened between Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump in the bedroom. It's not about what happened in 2006 or 2007. I've been saying this all along. This is about a cover-up. It's about lies told the American people.
One big thing hanging out there, though, is on February the 13th, Michael Cohen insisted that he didn't get reimbursed for the money, saying, quote, neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction with Ms. Clifford, and neither reimbursed me for the payment either directly or indirectly. Now, in that statement, Sandra, he does not mention the president specifically. He says the Trump organization or the campaign, but it's pretty clear there that he was trying to suggest he paid the money himself and didn't get paid back.
Meanwhile, John, continued negotiations for an interview of the president by Robert Mueller. What conditions does this White House want met from the Mueller team as far as the length of the interview?
Yeah, well, one thing is negotiations continue apace. They are not sure whether or not the president is going to sit down with Mueller at this point, but Rudy Giuliani, in a phone call to me yesterday and then on Hannity's program and again this morning on Fox and Friends, saying that there would have to be very, very strict conditions for an interview. The scope of questions has to be whittled down to just the central issues, Russia and the Comey firing. He told me yesterday everything else is tangential, and as you pointed out at the top, he would only give Mueller a relatively brief opportunity to question the president, some 2 to 3 hours. Listen to what he said this morning.
That's the amount of time, Steve, that we would allow, only because that's what Clinton got. He got only 2.5 hours, and he fought with them over discovery. We've given them 1.2 million documents. Didn't fight with them over it. Could have. We could have raised presidential privilege, other privileges. We gave them a complete picture of what's going on. They should be able to do this if they have a case in 2.5 hours, or they want to dispose of it.
Giuliani told me yesterday afternoon that in order to have an interview, they would have to have a pretty solid expectation that the Mueller team would keep an open mind, that it could be Comey who's lying and the president who's telling the truth. He also said, Sandra, that they are ready to fight a subpoena if it comes to that. But he also said it's likely that any interview wouldn't happen for a number of weeks. The president, of course, is consumed by this pending summit with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, and there just wouldn't be time to prep him before at least sometime in June. Sandra?
Just your